What's up, y'all? I'm going to be doing kind of an outside review of Schneider Transportation versus Sear England. So, this question was raised in the comments section of my Sear England review video. I tried going on their websites, but they don't provide enough information on them. So I called both of their recruiting offices. Okay, so I called both Schneider and CR England recruiting offices, and I had a list of questions that I already wrote down that I was going to ask them. And let's get into it. So first, I'm going to start with Schneider. Do you provide food, or does the student have to provide/pay for their own? They do provide food during what they call the classroom orientation. They have two kinds of orientation. After the classroom orientation, they have what I call the hands-on orientation, where you go on somebody's truck and they kind of show you how Schneider does things, and that's pretty standard. And that orientation for experienced drivers is 18 to 19 days. For someone who just got their CDL, that's 5 weeks. You get paid for orientation. That's $80 a day for orientation. I believe he said for classroom orientation. How much is the contract worth if broken? You go to these starter companies, and if you get your CDL through them, they make you sign a contract. It's standard that it would be like $6,000. I don't think Schneider understood the question. I asked it in two different ways, but he just replied with 9 months in summation. I don't think he understood what I was saying, but if you break a contract, they require you to pay $6,000 either upfront or over time. But if you don't, then that goes on your DAC report, which is like your driving record for a CDL. How long is the contract? 9 months. Which states does Schneider hire out of? They hire out of all the lower 48. Let's see. How long is the training process? I already asked that. What is the cents per mile that you would get as a driver with Schneider? Now, there are no fixed cents per mile with Schneider, so it's it's variable, meaning it's all dependent upon your division, your experience. It's conditional. So not every driver gets paid the same, depending upon your division. Another question I asked them, I said, do y'all do reefer, which is a refrigerated trailer? They said no. He said, well, very rarely do they do anything with a reefer anymore. So at one point they did, but now they don't. Now they just do drive-in. As far as like vans are concerned, I believe they do tanker as well. They do have dedicated regional and national, believe. National, I didn't ask that, but no, they do dedicated and regional. All right, so provide food, no. Orientation, experienced driver, 18 to 19 days. Non-experience, 5 weeks. $80 a day during classroom orientation. 9 months for the contract. They hire out of all 48 states. Variable cents per mile. So I called CR England, and I already knew some of the answers to this. So I went ahead and answered some of them, but one thing changed. We'll get into that. Do they provide food? Of course, no. How long is orientation? 10 to 12 days for like classroom orientation and getting your CDL and stuff. How much is the contract? $6,000 And I had to kind of ask this in another way in order to get the actual response. Um, so it's actually $5,995, and they said if you do break the contract, um, they want to get $38 per week for 48 months in order to pay that off. I didn't do the math myself, so I don't know how much you're saving doing that. Um, states that they don't hire out of. They don't hire out of Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Washington, and New Hampshire. They do hire out of Florida, but only certain parts, and she didn't tell me which parts that is. How long is training after getting your CDL? 1 month. That's it. 1 month. I was just like, oh, wow. Hey, it's the same thing for Schneider, though. 1 month, and, you know, you need more than that. I mean, you need more than that. I think it's dangerous to do any less than maybe 3 months. You know, I mean, you got to make sure that they fully comprehend what they're doing, and have someone guide them and give them tips on what to do. So I already knew that they did a phase 1, which is now 1 month with your mentor, your trainer, and they did have a phase 2. This is the part that changed. They, as a requirement for, but before you get out on your own, they made you do a phase 2, which is team driving with someone with a little more experience than yourself. But they don't do that anymore. That's optional. That could be a good thing and a bad thing. But divisions, they do reefer. She acted like she didn't want to answer this question. Reefer and flatbed. So flatbed, that's like dedicated. I think that's dedicated and regional from what I remember. But she was not patient during this interview. I was just asking questions. I said, I'm calling on somebody else's behalf. And she said, well, this call is going on long enough. And it took me about 10 minutes to even get to that point to where I was talking to somebody. Because I had to wait in line on the phone. I guess maybe they don't have enough recruiters, or they don't, they just had a high volume calls. I don't know. But they also do regional, dedicated, and national. Also, the cents per mile, variable. They could not tell me what each, what a driver could expect for pay. So it all depends upon your, your experience, your division, stuff like that. And yeah, so far, Schneider and CR England are very much alike. I would still go with Schneider just because they pay for your food. He didn't mention anything about paying for your travel and lodging. So it's kind of like but they do provide food during orientation. That is important, So anyways, I think it's Schneider for the win. And I also base that off my experience with CR England. I've never experienced Schneider, so far they're looking better, just a little bit better than CR England. But anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you like the video. Y'all take it easy. Be safe. Keep the shiny side up and the rubber side down. Peace.